Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in on this historic day. What makes it historic? Well, as I'm sure everyone knows, today marks the 89th anniversary of the first ever television broadcast. We all want to say thanks to the pioneers at CBS for laying the groundwork, and we'll take it from here. This is UCaaS Connection. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, as always, your host, Larry Brantley, and today is July 21st, and it is hot out there, and it's about to get hotter. Our guests today include Forrest Kneuppel, National Partner Manager for Master Agents with Fuze. He's got some great insights for partners and solutions that are tailor-made for enterprise. And in addition, our team at UCaaS Connection is at it again. We've introduced the SD-WAN show already, and there are more great programs in development. But today we're introducing an upcoming special episode, and we're calling it Rising Stars, and it's going to air in 3 weeks. So we have a lot to talk about today, but first let's talk commissions. And for those of you in the channel, this is why you do what you do. Every sale, every connection, every relationship has the potential to drive your revenue stream. Our friends at Intelisys have always led the way in creating great commissions opportunities. They're here to tell us about an exciting event happening tomorrow, by the way, and designed to help you earn more, earn it faster, and protect it once you have it. Are Cybil Nielson, VP, and Samantha Jacks, Director of Communications Operations for Intelisys. Ladies, welcome to UCaaS Connection.
Hey, Larry.
Now, first off, this seems a little redundant since we've had Intelisys on the show before, but again, tell us a little bit about Intelisys.
Well, Intelisys is a performance-driven company all across all areas, and leading with sales, of course, but supporting every single partner, every type of partner behind the scenes in our support departments. The commission department is over 50 people strong with analysts, accountants, specialists. We've been paying commissions on time every month since 1994. I don't want to count the years. So we also have a financial stability where we offer just a lot of programs and a lot of offerings for our partners to help them grow their business.
Samantha, this event that I just teased, tell us what it's all about.
Sure. It's really getting the partners familiar with the programs and tools that we have available to them. A lot of really good information is available, and a lot of hard work goes into the information that's posted within my Intelisys. So that's something that we're really excited to share with the team and really get partners comfortable with clicking around and being able to understand their commissions a lot more and what's available to them.
Very good. So let's just go ahead and dive into these main focal points one at a time. And I will leave it to you, ladies, based on your expertise, to answer the questions. First, tell us about Intelisys Advanced Commissions.
Oh man, the advanced commissions is something that every new partner should take advantage of. It gets cash in hand quick. With our residual model and the way commissions are paid, a lot of our new partners have to wait 6 to 9 months before they actually see those first commissions come through for their sales. With the advanced commissions program, it's doing that. It's getting cash in their hand, a month, up to 15 days after they submit an order. It's estimated based on their order that was submitted. It's interest free, so it's a really cool program for that new partner that's just getting off the ground running.
Very good. Now, this one is kind of intriguing to me. Commissions protection. I would just assume, and I think most partners would, that once a deal gets closed, those commissions are guaranteed to make it to my bank account. So why is commissions protection important, and what will I learn from this part of the program?
With commissions protection, it really is just that, with a lot of the uncertainty going on around the pandemic and COVID, it's a lot of businesses are struggling. And as more of our suppliers go towards that paid on paid model where we don't receive commissions until the customer makes a payment, this program is designed to keep the partner whole during this time. So, it's hugely important. We don't want our sales partners to have to worry about their commissions during this craziness that's happening, and we want them to keep consistent. And again, interest free, totally take advantage to keep those commissions flat so you can continue conducting your business and not worry about, those commissions dropping off, where we really want to have our partners' backs.
Very good. And which one of you ladies would like to walk poor little old me through account notifications?
I'm happy to do that. So account notifications is really cool. I mean, it's working with our suppliers to get information ahead of time. So you guys, our partners, don't have to worry about it. It's letting our partners know accounts coming up for renewal, if any actions needed to do that to have commissions continue to be paid. It's letting them know if a customer is past due so they can reach out and have those conversations with the customers and see, how their business is doing during this time. It's letting them know if an account disconnected and getting ahead of any potential commission inquiries. So a lot of work is going into that. A lot of conversations are being had with our suppliers to get that information up front so our partners don't have to go searching for it.
Excellent. Now, this whole program sounds like an essential must-see sort of event. So for the benefit of our viewers, so it's fresh in their minds, give us the details, how they can attend, how they need to prepare, and what they should expect.
Cybil, I'll let you take that one.
Thank you. I actually want to add, if I may, one more thing as I go into that about the partner protection, the commission protection program. One of the other things that we're doing a lot of is talking to suppliers, because it's not in our control, and that's why we set up this commission protection plan. The suppliers will give breaks to customers for payments and prorate billings or push billings out for 3 months. All those kind of things affect commissions, whether they're pay on pay or by billing. And we're just trying with that program, if somebody was making, $10,000 a month and it randomly dropped to 5, and we can see that it's because of suppliers that are pushing things out and such, then we keep them flat. So another little add that there's a lot of supplier participation helping us with that program as well.
Thank you so much for that good information. So now tell us how we get there and what we need to do and what we can expect.
Okay, so in the webinar, if you are a partner of Intelisys, you can log in to My Intelisys and go to webinars, and you will see the webinar listed, and you can click on the registration button there and get registered. If you are a partner in recruiting status and starting to work with Intelisys, but your paperwork is in final, please feel free to send me an email at cybil.nielson@scansource.com, and we can send out a registration for you. And as to what to expect is really an elaboration of what we touched upon today. We have great commission reporting on My Intelisys. We have pre-done variance reports. We have all kinds of things ready for you, and also ready to teach you how to use those, to better your commission reporting within your own business. And then also really deep diving a bit more into all the programs. We only touched on a few. We have many programs, and pretty much any kind of partner that needs any kind of support financially will find some program, inside the programs that we offer.
Cybil Nielson and Samantha Jacks, Intelisys Commissions Operations. Ladies, leadership in action on behalf of their partners, whatever it takes, right? Thank you guys so much for joining us today on UCaaS Connection. Hope you come back sometime and share more stories. Take care, both of you.
Thanks, Larry. You too.
Now, at the top of our show, I mentioned that we were introducing a special episode called Rising Stars. Now, for a lot of you, your story is not yet known. Now, maybe it's a lack of a marketing budget or resources, or maybe you're just getting started and haven't gained traction in the conversation. Whatever the reason, that does not diminish the impact of your products, your team, and your solutions for the marketplace. We want to give you a voice, a platform, and a chance to be heard, be seen, and to make your mark. Now, that is the purpose of Rising Stars. Now, if you would like to be featured on this special episode, let us know. And if you're a supporting partner and would like to refer a Rising Star, let us know by emailing our production team at featureus@ucaasbeat.com. That's featureus@ucaasbeat.com, and make sure you put Rising Stars in the subject line. And the show is going to air September the 8th right here on this network. Now, our next guest has risen to the top of the enterprise space already and is here to tell us how Fuze is providing partners with great solutions and even greater opportunities. Forrest Kneuppel, Fuze's National Partner Manager for Master Agents. Welcome to UCaaS Connection.
Hi, Larry. Thank you for having me today.
Now, before we get into it, I want you to take a look at this, and when we return, Forrest will reveal something uniquely prophetic about the message. And we are back with my guest, Forrest Kneuppel with Fuze. Forrest, I teased something unique and somewhat prophetic about this video, so tell our viewers what you told us offline, and how does it fit with Fuze as a company?
So I was getting together commercials to be able to show you a little bit of our branding, and I found that one. That's actually 3 years old. And it's no shock to anybody that's in our industry that we've been making this move for some time when we made that change from what was the old on-premise system towards the UCaaS model and people getting more and more comfortable with a work remote type of setup. I don't think anybody was as prophetic enough to figure out what we were going to deal with here in 2020. But that's a 3-year-old video that said exactly what we're dealing with, whether we like it or not, frankly, in a lot of cases today. So I love that video. I love bringing that video back and saying, oh, guess what? We were right.
Forrest, everybody's talking about their integration with Microsoft Teams these days, but Fuze seems to play well in just about every major platform. Would you say that statement is accurate?
It is. In fact, we have a Fuze store where people can go in and be able to figure out what APIs they need to get in on lots of different applications, whether that's Teams, Slack, Salesforce, Zendesk, you name it. There's so many of them out there. But the Teams conversation is a very interesting one for us right now. In fact, I was talking with engineers from a couple of masters this morning. They said somewhere in the realm of 70% of the deals they talk to today have some sort of conversation around what they're doing with Teams. How does this play nicely, right? So our entire Microsoft story is now about coexistence rather than just strict competition. You know, we're combining the strengths of the two platforms. I mean, Microsoft's back end and front office functionality with Fuze's superior UCaaS solution, anywhere from Office 365 and Outlook integration to Presence and Calendar to Teams Click to Call and Meetings integration. We're doing browser support for full function Fuze and Edge, as well as support for attendees on the Internet Explorer 11. But really, there's two main important. Well, there's lots of things, but I'll give you two important things about that offering. Number one, our solution offers both meetings and calling supported. Calling supported on any version of MS Teams across desktop, mobile, and web. I know a lot of our competitors are playing mainly in one, maybe two of those, but not all three. The second thing I'd tell you is that we offer a true lookup of contacts and numbers for placing a call to any number available for someone. So when you go to call someone, we'll list out all the possible numbers to call them on. If it's a group, we'll list out the numbers available for the people in that group. Whereas, some of our competitors, again, have just been doubling down on the direct routing version of that. And so we've got the ability of doing the direct routing. We've got the ability of using bots, but it's no longer that, for the engineers on watching this, it's no longer a hack. These are actually Microsoft certified APIs.
That is a first here, guys, on UCaaS Connection. Now, I want to get into the weeds with you just a little bit, because in terms of business applications, just about everyone falls into one of these three categories. It's either primarily on-premises, it's focused on cloud and the premise is phasing out, or it's a true hybrid. I'd like to know, where does Fuze land in this landscape?
Outside of it. So the closest thing to that was the hybrid model, right? Where you have some combination of on-premise and off. But realistically, we were born in the cloud. I mean, the company goes back to 2006. We were actually thinking phones long before we bought a company called Fusebox and then rebranded to be Fuze. But we own and operate our entire IP stack within data centers around the world, and we use that as a pure cloud solution. Now, we're delivering over SIP. And we have an ability for folks to be able to go out, get their good bandwidth connection, and have a quality experience with Fuze. But it's not a hybrid solution. If you're going out and you're buying maybe a Poly or a Yealink, or maybe even some cases a Cisco type of phone to be able to have on the desktop, so you have a comfortability level for the folks that still have not made that mental shift to a soft phone application, or just working off their mobile maybe, we do have that ability. But it's purely in the cloud.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I'm pretty excited about what I'm hearing. Now, it's one thing to hear it from someone in your position, and it's quite another to hear it from those who rely on you to deliver on those promises every single day. Take a look.
SAS International is a bespoke metal manufacturer. We make predominantly metal manufactured ceilings and other bespoke architectural work for some major projects. You'll see our products in all of the big stations, all of the big airports like Heathrow and Gatwick, and across the globe. We have about 850 employees. We have 3 factories across the UK, and we have a head office here in Reading. I was brought into the company 3 years ago. Our telecommunications platforms were aging. There was a huge issue with the reliability of those systems. The systems would go offline very regularly, and we had no confidence that those systems were going to remain stable for the foreseeable future. So one of our priorities was to replace those as quickly as possible. Choosing to work with Fuze was a very easy decision to make. The confidence I had in the engineers that we spoke to, the confidence I had in that the solution was the right fit for the business. The product was pretty much exactly what we wanted right at the start, but also the development plan seemed to tie in with what we wanted to achieve as well. Fuze has exceeded our expectations in many different areas. I think the reliability of the system is one of the key components. We have a phone system now that never goes down, and that's absolutely essential for a business like us. We are definitely seeing cost savings with Fuze, and that's a lot of soft costs, but a lot of tangible costs in there as well. We've seen a definite increase in the collaboration between our sites, between our people. We don't have to attend on premise anymore. We can talk via instant messaging, we can change that into a call, we can change that into an online meeting just through the click of a button. I find that incredibly addictive, to be honest. We have a brand new corporate headquarters, and the cost involved in moving a aging PBX system to that site would have been at least £50,000. Our current cost from using a Fuze platform to that new site is 0. Overall, our experience with Fuze has been absolutely first class. We rely on our communications day to day, and this has given us the ability to transform the business.
And we're back. My guest is Forrest Kneuppel, National Partner Manager for Master Agents at Fuze. Forrest, let's switch gears just for a minute here and get into your area of expertise. Who identifies as an ideal Fuze partner?
So partner and customer. So let me talk about the customer piece first. What's very interesting in our marketplace is there are a lot of different UCaaS providers out there. And almost all of them cater to an SMB market, which is great. It's a fantastic use for that small and mid-sized business. But we were actually born into the enterprise. Our first opportunities and the way that we've grown the company have been in the global marketplace, working with enterprise organizations. So to give you an example, our typical customer, like we really deal with customers that have at least 250 employees or greater, and our average customer, is over 1,000 seats. So quite a bit different from some of the main competitors that you've heard of in our field, where they do have a concentration much more in that SMB play. You know, it is much more do-it-yourself, if you will, whereas we have a very hands-on approach of doing not only the engagement through the sales process, but engagement for implementation. We have an entire adoption playbook that we've actually published to the marketplace as best practice for companies that are not just taking on a UCaaS provider, hopefully Fuze, but maybe not, but taking on somebody like Fuze and implementing it, because that's where the rubber meets the road, is being able to actually get your users to use the service.
You make a good point. I want to talk now about resources. What resources are available to your partners, and how do they access those resources and use them to gain, say, new opportunities?
Absolutely. So from my end, so I have the benefit of working with the master agents internationally. So I know we had Intelisys on here earlier, so groups like Intelisys and Avant and Telarus and TBI and others as well. So we worked very closely with them to make sure that the supplier portals have all the information that you would need for getting in contact with your local channel director, channel manager, making sure you have case studies, making sure you have any of the information you need to be able to go out and engage properly with a new opportunity, so that you're making sure you're giving yourself the best first opportunity to make a great impression, particularly with inviting us in on that conversation. The other things we do is that we are very, very engaged from a channel perspective, where our channel managers, our channel directors, our operations and support folks, even our sales team are very commonly out there in the field working hand in hand with our actual partners to go and identify opportunities, make sure they're the right fit, and be very honest. Sometimes they're not, sometimes they are. When we find a good fit, we're going to be a great partner to make sure that we are engaging with you and engaging with that end customer to keep you in the limelight and go and win that deal. When it's not, we're going to make sure we get you pointed in the right direction as well. That's where we build that trust and camaraderie with our partnerships.
Well, let's talk a little bit about any big wins or unique case studies you want to tell us about.
Well, we've got a lot of big wins out there. That's actually why I wanted to bring that case study. So hopefully we'll have people go back and take a look at the video that we just had. I know we've got a couple other large ones that are actually out on our website right now in regards to groups like PTC. I know that Frank Recruiting is a large international group. We do a lot of big companies, as I mentioned. I mean, these are very typically multi-location, multinational, 1,000+ seat type of organizations, and so we work across pretty much every vertical. So as we get engaged with you, with the partners, I want them to be able to come to us. Let's find a case study that is very specific or unique to what they're looking for, so we can make sure it's of a benefit, not just a general case study.
You make a lot of sense. I want to go back just to something that you said there, because clearly we've talked about Fuze's sweet spot is in the enterprise area, and I just want to know how that came to be, and how are you guys so successful at that level?
So some of this predates me, so I have to use this a little bit anecdotally. However,
Sure.
I was prior to coming to Fuze actually one of the agents who had my own agency and sold Fuze. So I can tell you that two different pieces there. First, I'll say that the reason that I started looking more and more and bringing more business over to Fuze, and then ultimately was, enticed to come and join the team myself, was because of the quality sales process they run for a large entity. It is a different sales process dealing with somebody that has a lot of layers and a lot of, width and depth that you have to get into to figure out how do I sell ultimately to the financial officer about why they're going to make this change. And the quality of the people and the sales process they had at Fuze, as an agent, I appreciated the fact that I could sometimes walk away from a deal and not be worried about what they were doing inside of that deal. The second thing was when I sold it, it actually got implemented. So there's a lot to be said for that. It seems like it should be just par for the course, but it really isn't. And anybody who's been doing agency for any period of time knows that selling the deal is not necessarily where the problems start. It's making sure that it actually gets engaged and adopted and implemented and billing, all the things that should be simple. But as far as how we got into the enterprise, going back to your original question, the company itself started that way. We actually, and I got a chance to see this from the previous years, was the fact that they were like this bodybuilder that went into a gym. And initially, they were doing all upper body, but had these chicken legs that could barely support the upper body. And they faltered a little bit. They figured out, hey, listen, we got this great sales process, we're winning all these great deals, but I got to make sure I have the support behind it. And so they actually revamped the company over a number of years to have a incredibly strong engineering talent, support talent, engagement talent, adoption, implementation, and built that base up. So that allowed us to be able to go out and have incredible implementation stories, which became the case studies and the follow through that when you're going to win another big deal, you need to have that referenceable company, right? They want to know that you've done this before. And so now we've built up a reputation, just in, between our partners and us, between the masters and us, but even more importantly with the analysts and us. So when you go out and see the Gartners and Aragons and Forresters and so on, they're all listing us and talking very, very directly about how we are a leader after those large enterprise opportunities. So we've made that our focus. We'll let other folks play in the niche SMB. We've dug a very solid foundation where we are focused on those 250 employee companies and larger. And quite frankly, if you're dealing with one of those larger companies, we should absolutely be part of that conversation.
Okay, Forrest, we've heard from your customers. Now we're going to hear from your partners. And when we come back, I want to hear from you about how Fuze is focused on the future. Let's take a look.
Hi, this is Evan Hall, and I'm from HMC3. We are a systems integrator partner with Fuze. So with Fuze, what we're able to do now is actually collaborate at a whole next level. We share documents, we can set up meetings, we actually do a lot of video conferences, which is because our team is regionally diverse as well as international. We use the video conference to really actually bring people together and actually smile and share and laugh. So Fuze is a great company. We have a lot of diverse practices and we focus a lot on the contact center. One of the critical areas is enterprise deals. So while things we may start from a contact center, we're really looking for the best-in-class UC partner. And so now we're getting more and more UCaaS deals where we feel Fuze's value proposition will bring us to this next level. Which has been great for over the years. We've been seeing the growth of the company as well as the product and the usability. It's really been a great story. Best part about Fuze is that they're customer-centric. They actually do care about their customers. There's other partners that we work with that look at more of the finances and the numbers than actually caring about delivering the needs of their customers. And the team that we work with is awesome. I can't say enough about all the folks that we work with, from the help with the implementation engineers all the way up to the senior staff. So I think from a standpoint of where HMC3 is and where Fuze is, I think we're really getting to the next level of the whole partnership program, where we're seeing how to better engage with our customers, how we can increase that value proposition story, how we can actually build a scalable model that's not dependent on things that we're not core at. So we can focus on our core competencies, and you guys can focus on your core competency about building a better product.
We're back. Now, we started this segment looking at the present from the past. Now let's look to the future. Forrest, what happens next with Fuze and its partners?
Sure. So the big push for us culturally over the last few years has been more and more focus on the channel. We are doing a fantastic job of growing that portion of the business and making sure that we have price parity and compensation parity as well between our channel and our direct teams, so that we're working as a team, not against each other. That's a very big deal, as many people know. But from a future standpoint, I've already kicked the horse about teams quite a bit on this call. I'll tell you that contact center is another piece. A little known fact, we actually do own our own contact center solution internal for Fuze. And so we've had our product team that is continuing to build out additional functionality into that, so that we can be another added value as you find those hidden contact centers within organizations. Alongside of that, we continue to build up very strong alliances. We brought on an alliances director recently who's been doing great things with groups like Salesforce and others, SD-WAN companies as well as our older and very deep relationships that we've got with contact center groups like Nice and Contact, Five Nines, and even Serenova. So we continue to figure out where those pieces are by listening to our partners, to the partner community, about where there might be a gap. And then we go and attack that gap to make sure that we can be a one-stop solution for them.
Well, Forrest Kneuppel, National Partner Manager for Master Agents at Fuze, thank you, my friend, for joining us on UCaaS Connection. Do come back and visit us very soon. And in the meantime, stay safe.
Thank you, Larry. Have a great day.
Now, before we go, just a special reminder about our very special episode coming up, Rising Stars. But as we always say, this is your show. So whether you're a rising star or an established industry leader, we've got you covered. Nancy Seco, tell them how they can be featured on UCaaS Connection.
If you would like to be a featured guest on UCaaS Connection, let us know. We are here to help you tell your story. Visit us at ucasbeat.com or through our UCaaS Connection social media pages. You can request an interview, submit stories, updates, big wins, or anything else that's newsworthy by emailing us at featureus@ucasbeat.com. These are your stories, and this is your show.
Now, we will be back next week with another edition of UCaaS Connection. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to my guests, Cybil Nielson and Samantha Jacks with Intelisys. Be sure to sign up for commissions before tomorrow, and a big thanks to my brand new friend, Forrest Kneuppel from Fuze. Until next time, my friends, keep your distance, stay safe, and always, no matter what, stay connected.